Today, I'm going to show you the most underrated and underutilized build in Mewgenics. I haven't seen enough people talking about how broken this setup is, so I'm here today to show it to you. Fair warning, I do show a good amount of gameplay from an area unlocked after completing Act 1. Spoilers ahead. The main focus of our build is going to be around summons and familiars. For our classes, we are going to be using a Druid, a Ranger, and a Cleric. Your last slot can vary as you really just need survivability. Personally, I'm bringing a Necromancer, but many other classes will work great in this last slot. I'll explain each class more in depthly shortly. I quickly wanted to touch on the subject of equipment. I personally did not bring any equipment on my classes to make sure that the build itself is good and not carried by the equipment. This means you can bring whatever equipment you want and it can only help out your run. Now, before I get too deep into this, I do want to come out and say that this is not an end-all be-all best build, and you might struggle to actually get the passives and abilities that let you summon and buff your familiars. However, in that event, this team composition is pretty strong and it'll help you at least make it across the finish line. So, we already picked our classes. For your Druid, you're just looking for spells and passives that either summon familiars or buff allies. This is the main meat of the build because the Druid can get so many different summons, as well as already starting out with the Crow that's super busted. Its basic attack also heals and buffs a large area with +1 damage, and they have specific passives that increase familiar strength even more. The next class I'm going to talk about is going to be the Ranger. The Ranger will mainly serve as a way to get more summons and apply status effects. Think of this class as an additional high damage output with more summons and utility/crowd control. You want to primarily pick any skills and passives related to summons similar to the Druid, but you also will have the ability to focus on spells that allow you to control and have utility, such as applying burn, attacking a large area, or trapping enemies. The last main key class for this team is going to be the Cleric. I'm sure you already know about the Cleric's insane healing potential and its surprising ability to output damage,
nice,
as well as debuff enemies while buffing its allies. Our final class is going to be a lot more flexible, as really we're only looking for survivability. I personally used the Necromancer because I wanted even more summons and something tanky, but honestly, I think a tank is going to fit best for this slot. This build has a different playstyle than most teams. It's a bit slower since you have to summon your familiars first, and towards the end of the run, buffing them will also be necessary. However, I promise this build is easy mode. After you get a couple buffs stacked on all your minions and flood the board with all kinds of familiars, they will tank everything for you and they'll do so much damage while your cats just stay perfectly safe on the sidelines. By the end of your run, you are going to be summoning all kinds of really strong familiars, stacking damage over time effects, and you'll be constantly healing. Trust me when I say you will be invincible. The Throbbing Domain itself is a very difficult area to get through, not to mention how hard the boss here is. Having this team make it through with no equipment and very little struggle was very surprising for me, as I honestly didn't know how well this was going to work. Thank you all for watching. Let me know any questions you have down in the comments, and while you're down there, please do let me know what kind of video you'd like to see next. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.